Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, please don't make it your last. Do well to subscribe. I have an interesting video for us today, so do well to watch it till the end. Today I have a very special guest. Can I hear the drum roll? I'll let him introduce himself.
Alright, thanks for having me here, Dr. Linka. I'm Joshua Okpanachi.
Is that all? That's
Okay.
too humble.
No, okay, I'm Dr. Joshua Okpanachi.
SSC.
SSC,
MDCN.
MDCN,
Keep it rolling.
So,
School
yeah.
editor-in-chief. Let's go. Brothers coordinator. Alright. Keep it going. Are you head boy?
No, go ahead, boy. Yeah, perfect.
Alright, so I have somebody very special and excellent doctor with me. So for the sake of the video, we'll just call him Josh.
Yeah.
So that everything goes smoothly. So from the title of the video, you already know that we're going to be talking about Housejob. He's going to relive his Housejob experience with us in a couple of minutes. He's going to be dishing out advices to us. He's going to be giving us words on marble, wisdom bits, so that we don't just jump into Housejob and we make a lot of mistakes. So we're going to be hearing from him what he has for us today. So I have a couple of questions which you guys have sent, and he'll just do well to answer them.
Okay, so yeah, Housejob was actually a bit nice, like
A bit.
yeah.
Okay. I'm getting scared already.
No. Why I say a bit nice, but like I mean, it wasn't as stressful as I expected it. So I had anticipated that it was going to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
shocker.
So yeah, that's what made it a bit nice. Like the workload wasn't as much as I envisaged. Since we didn't speak English.
Is that relative?
Yeah, it's relative.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
maybe
relative.
we'll get to talk about that in details later.
Yeah.
Because I've heard things.
So yes, based on where I did my house job, like this is just my personal experience. It may be different from other people who even did house job in the same center I did.
Actually.
But to me, house job was kind of nice. Like I got to learn things. I had a great community around me. We had a lot of house officers. So yeah, we had.
When you say a lot, what's like the number? Because I don't know what a lot is.
The quota for my center was 150.
Okay.
Yeah, but just know that we're always having like almost 100 house officers at this given time.
Now I guess why you see it as less stressful.
Yeah.
Or like places that have
like 60,
exactly.
80, yeah. So and apart from that, like that community, you have people that are going through rough postings like you, so you can just gist and everything. You had a lot of people you could talk to.
Okay.
And then fortunately I had senior colleagues who were willing to, teach you one or two things.
Help.
Yes, help in your career.
That's very key in medicine. I just realized that in this field, you just need people who have gone ahead of you to just
they're ready to
help.
mentor. Like you had some people that were eager to mentor. Yeah. And it was generally nice. Like the experience was good. I think it was worth it.
That's good. Okay. Yeah. At least I'm getting less tense.
No, don't get too tense. Like house job, you work, but you get to enjoy the work, depending on where you are.
Alright.
How things go.
We'll take that from you. So was there any posting you really enjoyed?
Anytime I think about this thing, but ironically, the posting I enjoyed the most was the one I had the most calls, was the one that had the most work. But it's not like
seems you are the doctor, you are the ordained doctor. You know those doctors that like they're here for the work.
No, it's not even that, but it's because of the enabling and the friendly environment. The people I worked with, from the consultants, the senior registrar, the medical officers, even the nurses that were there. Yeah, it was a lovely environment.
There were no nurses that were always, because there's some nurses that will be like, you're a doctor, go and do it. You can't even ask them questions.
We had nurses that will share our call food with them.
Oh, how nice.
In fact, at some point, some nurses will
at this point, are you sure you wouldn't tell us the center so that...
In fact, we even had, there was a nurse that was always on my case trying to send me one girl's number like that.
Really?
I'm not even...
For matchmaking?
And for matchmaking. So yeah.
She could see the potential. So, there was potential there.
And that posting was pediatric surgery. Now, pediatric surgery.
Oh, let's not forget distinction in pediatrics. Another drum roll.
Anyway,
I told you the accolades were a lot.
We're going to cut that part.
No, we are not.
Cutting that part. So yes, it came after I did pediatrics, and I didn't really enjoy my pediatrics post. Not like it was hard.
Okay, like the pediatric medicine. Proper.
Yes, the pediatric medicine. It wasn't just, the environment was a bit more toxic than others. I didn't have any personal problem with anyone, but I didn't just like the toxicity others were experiencing in the place. So I got tired of taking care of children, and coincidentally, the next place I was entering was pediatric surgery. Man, that time I was so frustrated. I was like,
can you imagine?
Yeah, I was like, I'm tired of children. Why am I going to spend 8 weeks with children again? And I had a blast, like, when I was in pediatric surgery. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a pediatric surgeon, but...
Let's see. Fingers crossed.
Because I know I'm talking to a daughter of a pediatric surgeon.
Oh, wow. We're cutting that part. Definitely. Alright, I think we spent a couple of minutes here, so we could just go right to the next question.
Housejob, the doctor is giving a provisional license. So what that means is that you're allowed to practice provided there's a provision, and provision is that provided it's under supervision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Supervision.
Under supervision. Very key.
Okay.
Very key. So anything you do should be there should be someone overseeing your steps, your methods, your procedures, and everything. It's just to make you a better doctor. That's what Housejob is. So depending on the center you're working at and the department, you may have different expectations from you.
Okay.
But generally, as a house officer, the aim is to preserve any patient that comes to you till a senior arrives.
Okay.
So just to keep the patient alive. So basic resuscitation, and then for some you may need to clerk and examine, and make a provisional diagnosis.
Okay.
Yes, and write the investigations you think will help. So it's just like what you have been doing in exam. It's just the practical part of it. To be honest, it's not going to be anything that's too new.
How about the house boy, house girl running to blood bank with cooler?
So where I did, we didn't have coolers. We had foil paper for
foil.
Yeah, it's a kind of special type of foil paper for blood.
Okay.
If you're lucky, if you're not lucky, you go with kidney dish.
Wow. Okay.
So,
but is that meant to be a house officer's work?
That ideally is not a house officer's work. But I'm not going to go and start talking about administrative work and blunders. But in some of my postings, especially the surgical post, when I was in surgery, the consultants did not like seeing house officers run together. Yeah, because ideally that's the job of the porter. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So your job is to ensure there's a transfusion order, and then in other centers, like it's the nurse that even runs the transfusion.
Okay.
Yeah. But in our case, you run the transfusion. That's the difference. You're not being employed as an officer to be superhero per se. Like, it's not that you're going to be doing cricothyroidotomy and just choke hole in someone's neck and everything. Or passing chest tube, they expect you to be an expert before then.
Okay.
Like, it just varies based on where you are, and it's not going to be anything new, I can assure you.
Okay. Well, I have a question which was meant to be left for some time later, but I don't know if I can bring it up now, because you're saying that you're not expected to like do this or do that. Even though I've heard that there are some centers where they go as far as you carrying out some procedures on their own as house officers. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so like I said, it's Housejob is you get a provisional license and everything should be under supervision.
Okay.
So even if you are doing hip replacement as house officer, it should be under supervision.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is this, depending on where you are, I think I will not talk about different centers here and what they expect from you.
Okay.
Yes. So I did my own house job at the Ahmad Bello University Teaching Hospital in Zaria.
Okay.
And it's as the name implies, a teaching hospital. So there's a long list of teachers who are willing to teach you each procedure, each step and all.
Okay.
Yes. And before you get to do some serious procedures like surgeries, I mean, you need to make sure the consultant is okay with that, the senior registrar is okay with that, the reg is okay with that, and they're able to.
But like they could let you be at the forefront,
Yes.
like start to finish,
Yes.
not assist though.
Yes.
Oh.
In fact, when I was in pediatric surgery, we were doing basic procedures like circumcision, tongue tie removal, and
Interesting.
then, and I got to assist a lot of surgeries in pediatric surgery. Like my suturing is not all good now, but it got better.
Better.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
I'm tempted to say we can open hospital for you now, but I don't know.
But if you need circumcision, you can bring it.
Hit him up.
You circumcise young and old men.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, one of my colleagues who did house job at the same time was able to carry out an appendectomy.
Okay.
Yes, on his own. But this consultant was there to guide him to ensure that he did every step. What he did, he watched some YouTube videos, and saw how it was done, and then step by step he was
nice.
And yeah, it depends. So you can do certain things. There are people who during the house job do a lot of cesarean sections. Yes. And then it now depends on where you are. So teaching hospitals, you will not get so many opportunities like that.
Heard that.
Yeah, like most of the surgeries I was assisting. In fact, my SR at that time said that this is the most, they should say, the house officer assists surgery because it's not so common for house officers to be involved in theatre.
So did you put yourself out there?
Yeah, okay. One of the things that I put myself out there, and then we had a good number of house officers in the team.
Okay.
So someone else could be running to make sure blood is ready. All the logistics are in place. What the house officers are meant to do during surgery. Yeah. So once you have those people there, one person can scrub in and then be involved in the procedure.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure my colleagues that like hands-on experience will be happy to hear this.
Yeah, like hands-on experience. I mean, one of the good things that when I was in ONG, we had a posting. They started posting an ultrasound posting.
Okay.
Yeah. So that gave us 1 week to be doing ultrasound for patients. And I remember one interesting experience where the reg, they told us that they were going to induce one woman, and then the reg now examined us. He said this patient feels breech.
Okay.
He wasn't sure. And then I now brought the ultrasound. I was like, please can I scan? They were like, sure.
Nice.
And when I now did, I was like, so this patient is actually breech. See the head.
Nice. Unlike the palpation we used to do, we just be, I don't know, we're actually sure what we're saying.
So,
nice.
So yeah, like when that thing happened, I sort of was able to diagnose using ultrasound. Like, this is not something I thought I was going to get during my house job experience. Well,
quite profound.
Yeah, it helps a bit. And then another time when I was in cardiology medicine, we had we used to do echo.
Okay.
And then I remember I had examined this patient and I was like, this patient has an MR and natural regurgitation murmur and everything. And when we now did the echo with the Doppler and everything, I could actually see what we call the mosaic pattern. So I'm moving stuff. Please calm down. But
a distinction student, you can tell.
But like when I saw it, but I was so excited because there was something I picked on examination, and then I could now see based on echo that this patient had like a regurgitation. Things like this like kind of make you excited about.
You are the ideal doctors.
It kind of makes you get excited about this is how medicine should be done.
Not just theory.
Yes, and everything.
Really interesting.
Those are the nice parts of it. Definitely has its ups and downs. Yes, the Ahmadu University Teaching Hospital.
But you're an alumnus of
the University of Jobs. Confident tribe. The confident tribe.
That's true.
So the teaching hospital is a bit different from doing house job in teaching hospital. It's different from doing it in the medical center, and also different from doing it in state hospitals.
Okay, then maybe we talk about private hospitals too.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know much about private hospitals, but I think they will do as much as the medical centers.
Okay.
Yeah, because the aim of teaching hospitals, they are academic oriented. So where you are, they want to teach you the proper way. So I'm doing my air quotes because there are sometimes when the workload is too much that you will not do the standard. Like it's not time for standard, but yeah, they want you to go the standard way and everything. Which is pretty nice. That's for
the teaching hospitals.
Yeah. So most of the things house officers are relegated to are houseboy errands, go and get blood, go and retrieve results, and take samples, set line, and so on and so forth. Like, those are the kind of things that you see us do most times during house job. Prepare patient for surgery, make sure the patient's investigations have gone through and the results are available and stuff like that. Yeah. Then for other centers and medical centers, they tend to be more hands-on oriented. Yeah. And them are state hospitals.
State hospitals.
So I'll also include private hospitals in this. So they are more of good and they're result oriented. Okay, patient comes in, give this patient medications, let patient be going. But in the teaching hospital, we want you to click, examine. That's usually how it is. And then for some state hospitals, you are as a house officer, you're given a higher platform in some of them. So they treat you like a typical medical officer. You're the one that runs the show, probably do surgeries. In fact, I remember a friend telling me about his own friend. Yeah, a patient came and they needed to go for cesarean section, a pregnant woman. And when he told his chief, the consultant, I get your team leader, I should go to theater.
Are you serious?
So he was the big surgeon. He was not going to operate. Yeah, there are definitely consequences with that. Like you get to make a lot of mistakes, and patients will bear the consequences.
It's more like learning on the job.
Yes, you're learning on the job, and then that you learn the hard way. Yeah, there are complications. Go and nick the ureter and things like that. So that's one of the disadvantages with all these other places. Yeah. You know, the major disadvantage with teaching hospitals is less exposure to hands-on stuff. Yeah. So if some say you're going to be a surgeon, it's best to go to medical centers. However, I believe that everybody will learn when they are going to learn.
Exactly. Everything will fall in place in time.
Yeah. I remember I was talking with a senior registrar in urology back then in Zaria, and he told me that everybody will learn how to cut. Everybody will learn how to be a surgeon. The thing is, I need to learn when to cut and when not to cut, and that's what residency teaches. So in the end, everybody gets there, but you don't need to be in so much of a hurry.
Yeah. Very important point.
So those under the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, MDCN, the pay is the same all through.
Okay, hospitals like.
In fact, they have a list, confirmed list. Yes, most of them are teaching hospitals and some federal medical centers. But anything that's federal is most likely
MDCN accredited.
Yeah, everywhere that MDCN approves, they pay the same across all institutions. And yeah, there's a list of accredited centers. I'm sure the list to that link will be
included in the description box. Is it safe for you to say the value? Even though Nigeria is a country where we have to be security conscious.
Yes. Before I now call one value now,
and do targets.
But it's not. It's fair, I think. Well, it's fair. The thing is that what's the value of the money has reduced definitely.
Definitely.
Yes, if they're collecting this like 2 years ago or more, by now I don't change car. But yeah, with it, you can survive, you can save, but you can't save for club shot. Different centers pay differently, but for MDCN centers, it's fair. I mean, it's not 250 but it's
but that's some good money too. It's close to that, but it's not up to that. That's good.
Okay. Yes, and in other centers they pay differently. Yeah. Some
higher or lesser.
Some 180.
Oh, wow.
Most do not pay as much as MDCN centers. Most do not pay as much, especially state hospitals and private hospitals as well as medical centers. Some may pay more.
Good. I heard that. I was about to ask. That was going to be like the next thing. So there are places that actually pay more.
But I haven't really heard of a place that pays more. Yes.
Because I was hearing places in Lagos, but I don't know how true that is.
Now, if you're looking at Lagos, it's logical for them to actually pay more. But the question you ask yourself is, what is your take home at the end of everything?
Exactly.
There's transportation in Lagos, feeding in Lagos, and rent, everything, like
The
your
cost of
day-to-day
living is
activities, it's a bit higher there.
so compared to Abuja. What have your friends in Abuja told you? Are they able to save? Can they save for plab?
See that? So let me, in the words of someone I saw on Twitter,
Okay.
if you save every penny you have for house job right now, from beginning to the end, you can't japa.
Wow.
So just
sad.
That
like tearing up.
You can't so, and it's the truth, you can't japa with the money. Let's say
Is it that bad?
Let's say we are paid 250k. Let's just assume just 250k. So in 4 months you have 1 M.
1 million.
Then in 12 months that's 3 M. And then for the cheapest pathway plan, I'm not so sure of my figures, but definitely more than 3 M.
Wow.
Definitely more when you're looking at all the costs and everything.
The economy is really sad.
So that's how it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. At least we have some money in our pockets. We are being paid. Yes. We are being paid for clicking now.
Exactly. You are being paid to click. You are being paid to everything.
So nice incentive.
Yes. Some centers may try to place high incentives and say we're going to pay this, we're going to pay that. But money should not be the main driving force, because I remember one particular center had a higher offer than what MDCN was paying. But in the end of the day, they're not even paying close to what MDCN was paying.
Can you imagine, like a clickbait?
Exactly. So it's just best to do your own research before going.
And be sure.
Yeah. So one major challenge I faced. Okay, I'll talk about the non-medical and the medical challenges.
Classification.
One major non-medical challenge I faced was language barrier. So my Hausa got a bit better when I went to Zaria, because in Zaria, Hausa is the lingua franca. Like, it's not.
I know.
Like, you're not expecting people to speak English. In fact, I usually get surprised when I see patients who speak English. Yeah. So that was my major barrier. But in the end, like, I could communicate to the
found your way around.
Yeah. So it wasn't so bad.
Okay.
Yeah. And then at first accommodation was an issue, because where you have a large number of house officers, it's going to be an issue, logistics.
So that's one of our questions. So would you just answer that as well?
Okay.
The accommodation for MDCN accredited hospitals, is there always accommodation?
Yeah.
Is the accommodation good enough? Then compared to like other places, to just basically differences in what accommodation struggle is like.
So ideally, now this is the ideal. No, a lot of things are not ideal in Nigeria. Yeah. Sadly, but ideally, MDCN accreditation is based on the ability to accommodate such a number. So is it according to the quota that they're meant to provide accommodation for, or there's still like a cut? It's not even meant to be like based on the quota. The quota is meant to be drawn from the accommodation.
Oh really?
Yeah. So the MDCN comes and sees your facility and says, okay, people can house so number of house officers, and that's the quota for that center.
Wow.
Yeah. So the quota is based on the ability to accommodate. But Nigeria, you can have instances where they hire other places and say they own them, just to put on a show, and then they increase the quota. Yeah. Or you can have places where they give house officer accommodations to other people. Yeah. So there are all these logistics and corruptions around everything. But ideally, every MDCN accredited area is meant to be able to accommodate the quota.
Okay.
Ideally. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Some may be within the hospital, some may be a bit outside, but there should be quarters with residential areas for house officer. Typically.
Nice to know.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not that you're so certain that it's for everyone. But yeah.
But it should be available.
Yeah. I remember when we went, because of the quota, we were expecting, we had issues with accommodation. So that was one of my challenges. At first, I was squatting in the hostel.
The medical student hostel.
Medical student hostel.
With somebody you know.
But like another house officer, there was one vacant room. So yeah, we were there for about 3 weeks before we got our own apartment.
Okay. And there's some sort of allowance that is cut off from your salary for accommodation, isn't there?
Well, okay, no, because the pay comes directly from MDCN. It doesn't go through your centers. It just goes from MDCN to your pocket. In fact, you won't see it from federal government of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. So it doesn't. It's not like before where they pay to the hospital and the hospital deducts accommodation.
Okay.
Yes. So it's now from your own salary that you're expected to go and pay the center. Yeah.
And how frequent do you do that?
It depends on the arrangement of the center. Some will expect monthly payments. Yes.
Okay.
Some expect it in like bi-monthly or 6 monthly. But in our center, it was after when you're signing out.
Cumulative 12 months.
Yes, cumulative. Yeah. That's just based on the arrangements. Yeah.
And it's fair?
Yeah, it was fair. It was pretty fair. Yeah, it was. They're going at 10,000 per month.
Oh, that's very fair.
Yeah.
Very fair. That's 20, it could be like 120.
120, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And how is the accommodation like?
Well,
facility-wise, infrastructure-wise?
Well, we thank God we're out of Shika.
Wow, okay.
But it had facilities.
So like now back to differences, like compared to places your colleagues stayed at in other centers, is Shika's better?
Well, I think one thing I liked about Shika's accommodation was the proximity to your place of work.
Okay.
So everything is within the hospital. You just come out, just cross a small road, and then you're in the woods. Like
so you don't have to pay for transportation
You don't have to pay for transportation. You don't need to do that. And then they have within the transit camp. That's what they call it.
Okay.
Yes, we had centers places where you could go and plug your devices when there's power outage. We had backup places.
So this national grid no dey touch you now.
You touch us. In fact, apart from national grid, we had our own Shika grid, we had our own T-camp grid. It was
sad.
Yeah, but we're always having one light issue or the other. Yeah, especially during the rainy season.
Okay.
Yes, and then water. Sometimes we're always having water issues. Yeah, so those basic amenities were
a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then with the good part is that they had a chilling spot within the transit camp, where you could go get
suya.
Yeah. I mean, in Zaria, you just increase your uric acid level. And yeah, so there are other places, and they are very good with tea. So they are shy, Cayenne shy, shy, and everything. So even where to cut your hair, where to do certain things, there was a gym.
Everything was within there.
Yeah, the tennis court and the basketball courts.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was okay.
That's nice.
The houses themselves, some needed
refurbishment.
Yes, like some needed serious rehabilitation.
Okay.
So, yes, it's alright.
Okay. Yeah. Now, compared to have you heard other places?
Well, I've been to some centers like Jute.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It's more. My place was more established. ABU was more established. In
terms of the house itself or the environment?
The environment.
Okay. From what you've said, we can totally understand.
Yeah. So.
And the house itself.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of what for the house?
There are so many. There are more houses.
Okay, in terms of number.
In terms of the quality. Now, the good places, if you go to a good house in where it's the Shika, if you go to a good house where doctors stay, it's well furnished. Like, I'm talking of ACs and fan, just in case the AC doesn't work.
Interesting.
Everyone has a fridge. There's a cupboard, the kitchen is well furnished and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, the sofas are new with throw pillows and all.
Oh wow, that's nice. So, a 2-bedroom apartment too?
No, just in 1-bedroom flat.
Oh, so you get to stay alone?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So those places were really good. In fact, some people even had libraries, like a cupboard where you can have the books and everything with the library.
So these are for house officers?
Yeah, these are for
not like residents?
No, these are for house officers.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. But then where I stayed was one of those places that needed refurbishment. Okay. So I was always chilling in my guys' places for obvious reasons. Yeah. So it's based on structures like that.
Okay.
I'd say my center had more things to offer. Yeah. And then most people tend to just stay, like a few of my classmates who finished from University of Jos stayed in their own accommodation where they were staying
off campus.
Yeah. So, and some do that also in Zaria. There's also accommodation for people to stay outside the hospital. Yeah. Our classmates who are staying outside the hospital. The disadvantage though is the light. And then moving at night, it's like you walk till late. Yeah. The security, but we didn't have much of security issues there. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The major thing I think that influences the workload is the number of house officers that are available.
Okay.
Like I said, my center 150. That was one of the highest. It was almost double that in some other centers are ahead of. Yeah. So having such a high number and having similar patient load with the same centers kind of makes it easy for you, because compared with other places. So when you're looking at a center that has maybe 80 house officers, for instance, and you have 150, and you people have the same patient load, you know that's going to be shared. When it's being shared across each person, you in the 150 center will have less work than that in the 80.
So for you guys, in a unit or rotation, how many officers can you have at most?
You know, when I picked Zaria and I was talking to someone, when he told me the thing, I was shocked, because where I finished from University of Jos, we always seeing one house officer and one team, one house officer covering two teams and things like that. So when I went to ABU, there's some times when I say this and I'm laughing, but we could go up to 7 house officers
in a unit. Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, especially one. Okay. Like, let me see, I started with medicine, so I'll just go in that order.
Okay.
So medicine, there are about maybe eight teams within 9 teams. So it can be up to 3 house officers per team, 4 house officers per team. And I was in cardiology, and cardiology was divided into 2. So there was cardiology A and cardiology B. Yeah. And in each of them had 3 house officers each.
Oh,
that's very
fair.
Very fair. In fact, at the point when I was leaving, the team I was leaving now has 4 house officers. So I didn't know what they were doing.
Enjoyment.
How would yeah. So
enjoyment.
Yeah, then going to a place like 1G can have up to there are 5 teams.
Okay.
Yes, and when you're looking at a quota of 150 in the hospital, and you're dividing into 4, let's assume it's even 120 that are available.
Yeah.
So 30 in each department, and in a team like a department like 1G that has 5 teams, if you're having 30 house officers, it's like 6 in each unit. So sometimes we on call, and then there are like 6 house officers on call.
Interesting.
So it's easy. The advantage is that you don't get to be stressed compared to other places. You work, but you won't be as stressed as in other places. The disadvantage is that a lot of people use the opportunity and tissue. Like if you want to run away from work, you do it without
any hassle.
Yeah. And then that's in pediatrics. Pediatrics, yeah, we could have up to 5-6 house officers.
Okay. Hey guys, so I'll have to apologize at this point. We're gonna have a change in communication form. We kind of recorded the video without sound, so I'm just going to do a voice over to make up for it. One of the questions asked here was what the rotations were like, what the postings were like, and if minor postings are usually done during Housejob. So he said that there are usually 4 major rotations, and he said there's a mnemonic for the order. So for some hospitals, they could go through the rotation in an order of MOPS. So some people start with medicine, then from medicine you switch to O&G, then to pediatric surgery. While for other hospitals, it could be POMS. You could start with pediatrics, then the O&G, then medicine, then surgery. So most times you do one medicine, then you rotate to surgery like that. You don't do 2 consecutive medicines or 2 consecutive surgeries. Then for the minor posting, so he said in his center, because he did his at Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, and ENT. For us in Truth, ENT is considered as a minor posting, but for them it's considered under surgery. So they had to do proper rotations in ENT as part of surgery. So I think that's a bit of a difference between our center and his. So most likely other hospitals may have slight differences as well. But most times the other minor postings, anesthesia, ophthalmology, psychiatry, radiology, house officers don't do rotations in them. It's just the exception of the ENT, which he had pointed out that at his center they do go through. And then part of this video, he gave advice. He gave advice to us newbies so that we don't just go blindfoldedly, that will at least avoid mistakes they made and just have a bit of a smoother sailing now that we have a lot of people who have gone through it and can tell us their experiences. I'm just going to summarize his advice to us. All right, so for the first point here, he said to be open, because for him, he didn't end up in a center that was top 5 on his list. So you have to be open-minded to whatever comes. Another point here is to trust God and calm down. He says we don't have to rush, that there are guys who waited about 3 to 6 months before starting Housejob. So you just have to trust God in the process. If you don't get it in time, just trust God that it's going to come at the best time for you. So to trust God and calm down. Then another point here, he said, is when you click a center, it's always best to check with someone who is either there or finished their house job there. Ask for the benefits and challenges with the selected center. Like we say in medical school, always having someone who has gone ahead of you to give you advice, to just help you with proper grounding on how to take off is always going to be key. So that's what he's saying here. Once you click a center, look for somebody who has done house job there so that the person can tell you what to do, what not to do, and you realize that it's easier than if you had come without any information. So another point here, he says you can draft a list based on what you want to get from house job. Surgically inclined people tend to prefer medical centers and state hospitals because of the hands-on experience. So it depends on what you want to do, what you want to learn from your house job. If you want to be cutting and all, so federal medical centers, state hospitals may be the best bet for you. Another advice he has here is knowing the cultural terrain of the center you selected, especially if it's a new area. It's very important as it will help you prepare for the house job here. So just knowing where you intend to go to, just be prepared, because it may be a different location, different from what you're used to. So just be ready for all the maybe culture shock or things that you're not used to. So just try and know beforehand the cultural terrain so that you don't go stepping on toes, or you just better equip yourself basically. And then lastly, he said to have fun. I hope we can do this. But then nice. All right, so that's it. So we had our outro here. So thank you guys. If you reached this point of the video, thank you so much, and special thanks to Dr. Joshua for doing this with me. It's such an honor. I thank him for his time, for giving time to come talk to us, better equip us for the experience. We are really grateful. So please do well to like this video, share it to somebody who it will benefit. Drop a comment, let's know that you enjoyed the video, let's know that you learned a thing or two, or you were enlightened on a thing or two, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Until my next video, bye.
After you get your provisional license, and there's the provisional certificate for provisional registration, and the annual license together with some other documents, your folio number and all those things. The portal opens. I think they open maybe quarterly.
Now it's once in 2 months.
Now it's once in 2 months. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So, but when they are going to open it officially, like there will be a circular that will be released.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would see it, like it's hard to miss that period. They are going to see it in many places. I think they send it to the mail, to your mail.
Okay.
And apart from that, like you see it on pages and platforms, like you just know that it's going to open, and then they will clearly state the date and the time when the portal will be open.
And the time.
Okay. Yeah. I remember ours was
Rush hour.
It was 12th October, and it was 12 a.m. No, 12 p.m. Sorry. 12 p.m. So we waited. Everyone knew that particular time.
But there would be so much traffic on the
There was a lot of traffic. I remember all my 3 devices I was using had like the lags. We were all lagging.
Oh,
yes.
Quite unfortunate. Then what did you do? Did you cry?
I was so tensed because the center that I pitched to other guys, like my friends started texting that they've gotten it. Like I was like, let me tell them we'll go this center.
Yeah.
But in the end, I went to another center. I slide my guys, not deliberately. But yeah, you would see it. And then anytime you go to the portal, there are some centers that do not disappear. Like this calling the
Such
three
as?
wise men. I know Nguru or somewhere. Is it somewhere like and one
They are still there.
they are still there, but I can't forget that Nguru. They were like told my guys went to Nguru. I was like, okay, you guys could
people,
always
people that actually went there.
they even took a picture in front of the statue and everything. And broke out.
Like I was here. Wow.
Like no, those three centers never. I can't remember the last one. But I know that Nguru, like once you just tell guys Nguru, they know what you're talking about. They will not go anywhere. They will not go. They're waiting for house officers.
I see.
Yeah, so that's how it is.
Okay.
And there was a time sure that the portal opened like was it 2 a.m. or was it 3 a.m.
Were people aware prior to its opening?
No, but I think a select few were aware. No, Nigeria. Yes, so
information.
Some were privy to the information. By the time some of us now went online, Guru was looking at. So
okay.
Yeah. So it's
that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Well, we hope we're lucky enough to get what we want.
No, yeah, it will all work out for the best.
Hopefully.
And you don't need to follow where your friends are going. You don't need to go. In fact, another thing, you don't even need to rush and do the house job. Like some people waited. I have friends that deliberately waited for like 3 months, 6 months before they.
That good thing.
It has the advantages and disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that you need to pay for another license.
Pay?
Yeah, because the license you get is for if you're going to start house job now like this, you're going to pay for 2 licenses.
Okay.
One for 2024 and 2025. So imagine you have already
like the 70-something thousand paper.
Not that one. It's I think each one is 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So like if you have done your house job, let's say you've paid for it, but you didn't choose any center and you're waiting till next year. Next year you need to pay for 2026 as well because you're still going to do your house job in 2026. Yes. So you have to put all those things into consideration. That I need to put when I'm going to pay for my license in place and everything. Yeah, because you'll be working and then your license has expired. Your provisional license has expired. You need to renew. Yeah, so that's one of the things that one would consider. But you don't need to be in a hurry. In fact, the time you click your center, there are people that clicked centers and then didn't report to that center within 14 days. If you don't report, they do not flag you in that center. And when they don't do that, it disappears. You're no more going to that center. You're no more going to do our job there. So after that you can wait to portal opens again
for somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can register with a place. But that doesn't mean you start immediately.
Okay.
So the 14-day period is just for you to meet maybe the CMAC who will flag you to MDCN that so candidate, so house officer has presented to this facility and he's going to do house job here. That's just what that 2 weeks is for. Okay. After that, I had colleagues who said they're going to rest. So after like 1 month, that's when they started their house job. Okay. Yes. But they already had the center. Yes. So
it makes sense.
Yeah. That's just Yes. Except we are like some of my guys that did their house job without a break throughout. They just did 3 months, and they left. Yeah, you can do that, but
what's the ideal? What is
ideally? Yeah,
is it standard from all hospitals to take break at a particular time? Then you decide what you want to do with the break.
Well, each hospital has its policy. The main thing is the main instruction from MDCN is that your posting should be uninterrupted. Okay. So you can't take breaks within a posting. Okay. You can't say, okay, I'm 6 weeks into pediatrics and these children are getting my name, so I want to go on a 1 week break. Ideally, you're not meant to do that. You're meant to have an uninterrupted posting.
That's entire 8 weeks.
Yeah, except on certain circumstances, like for compassion, when there's some house officers that lost someone in the course of that period. Those are unforeseen circumstances which one can tolerate and say, okay, yes, you can't write out such instances. So, but the breaks come after a posting.
Okay.
So some centers will prefer like juice. I think it's mandatory, and I think in Abuja to go on a 1 week break after each posting. Yeah, it's kind of mandatory. But in my center, Abus, what they did was that you couldn't take a break after your first posting.
Okay.
You're only eligible for a break after your second posting.
Okay.
Yes. And then that only meant two things. You can only take break in between your second and third and your third and fourth.
To make up 44 4 weeks.
Those are the only 2 times you can literally take a break. So yeah, but some chose not to even go on any break. I think I only took 1 break.
Okay.
Yeah. That was between my second and my third.
So you had 3 weeks at the end.
Yeah, the break I took was and how they do it in my center, like you can share the number of weeks you want to share. But you should just know that like the whole total is 4 weeks.
Okay.
So I took 12 day leave.
12 day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was because I was targeting resuming on a Monday. That's the reason why it wasn't 1 week or anything, yeah. Or 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then something like Zaria, you can take in between your second and third posting, you can take your 4 weeks. But you just know that you're not going to take a break after that.
Done.
Yes.
Okay.
So they don't care how you take your break, but just make sure it's not after your first posting.
Okay.
So the best thing is just to know your hospital policy.
Yeah.
All
right. But are there times where you can take like sick leaves?
No, how about definitely sick leave? Yeah. I tried as much as possible not to take any sick leave when I was there.
You tried.
Yeah.
That's something you can control.
No. Well, it's not like I can control it, but did I take a sick leave? Okay, I was just absent from work 1 day.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 day. But yeah, people take sick leaves, and some depending on who you work with, there are some consultants and senior registrars who are very compassionate, and if you're not feeling fine, like they understand that it's not something you can control. However, there are some that want to pay back the sick leave. Yeah. Okay. So when you've gone on a sick leave, you come back, you're going to, instead of them reducing you after 12 weeks, you do the extra 2 days that you're off, or 1 day that you're off. And it just depends on how it is.
Okay.
Thankfully, I never experienced that. But it depends on where you are and who you are working with. There are some people that are very irritable. So the slightest thing you do can make them threaten an extension. Most times people don't give extensions unless the house officer has been perpetually like misbehaving, coming late, and not doing his work, what's expected of him. Those things can warrant extension. So just not doing what's expected. Let the patient, you're not preparing the patient for surgery. You're not doing your work, you're being careless and everything. Yeah, it's one of the things that can. And then in my center, another thing that was very important was certifying patients. So yeah, even to practice in the north where early burial is sacrosanct. Is that the word? Yeah, sacrosanct. Yes, you have to make sure you certify the patients very early. Yeah, because I had a colleague who got an extension because he didn't certify the patient at time, which delayed the burial of the relative. Yeah. So certain things, just know about what to expect, what to avoid.
Okay. Okay. Then knowing the unit you're going to, knowing the consultants or people you'll be working with, does that give you an upper hand and prepare you for that unit?
Yeah, it does. Like, it helps you prepare your mind for what to expect. So if I'm going to work with this consultant for this period of time, these are the things I should do. This is how early I should be. This is what I should do with my patients. This is how I should interact with them, and so on and so forth. It's very helpful. Being aware of that is helpful. But more importantly, it's not even the consultants you're being the same team with. It's the residents, because they are the ones that are always around. Yeah. So once you have those who are the naggy type, or you have those who just want to get on your toes, you have to be very careful with those ones. There are some that call you by 2 a.m. to be asking for patient updates. Not like they'll do anything when they hear the updates. And then there are some that will hear you talk on the phone. They're like, "Hey, you sound stressed. You should make sure you rest." So they're just different types of. Yeah, I remember there was this senior registrar I worked with. Most people found it hard working with her.
Okay.
But for some reason, like mine was kind of easy. In fact, sometimes she would suggest that I should go and rest. I should give another house officer to take over from me and everything. So yeah, it depends. Favor is paramount in all of it.
I see. And it's a wrap. We've already outgrown so.
Yeah, you're making me high Colorado, and I don't really mind.